Number 12 ranked light heavyweight Azamat Murzakanov, who's undefeated, 14-0 and 4-0 in the UFC, has been sanctioned for a 180-day period due to breaching the UFC's anti-doping policy. The infraction was discovered through an out-of-competition test on October 8th, where Murzakanov was found to have traces of the metabolite LGD 4033, an anabolic agent which is listed as a prohibited substance by UFC standards. This substance was detected in a dietary supplement that Murzakanov was taking, which was analyzed by the Sports Medicine and Research Testing Laboratory in Salt Lake City, Utah. Despite the supplement not listing LGD 4033 as an ingredient, the lab confirmed its presence at low levels, which they concluded would not significantly enhance performance. A subsequent test on October 31st showed no presence of the substance, aligning with Murzakonov's claim that he stopped using the supplement after the initial positive test. Initially, the sanction was set at 90 days, reflecting the accidental nature of the violation. However, due to Murzakonov's prior suspension in 2019 under UFC's anti-doping policy rules, the penalty was doubled to 180 days. In the past, Murzakanov failed a USADA doping test, testing positive for 2 boldenone metabolites, and Murzakanov was suspended for 2 years starting September 2nd, 2017. This time around, the suspension started on November 1st following the Combat Sports Anti-Doping's notification of the violation and will conclude on May 1st, 2025, barring any further developments or appeals. Murzakanov was supposed to fight last month against Nikita Krylov, but was removed from the card. Murzakanov had 1 fight this year, and he knocked out Alonzo Menefield. Khamzat looked good grappling against former UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold. He may take on the winner of DDP versus Strickland. Strickland has shown he can survive on the ground, but he doesn't have the same grappling expertise as Khamzat. Khamzat's ability to chain wrestle, control his opponents in top position, and submission threats could be overwhelming unless Strickland can keep the fight standing, but Strickland has trained with Khamzat. Maybe that gives him a better understanding on how to avoid danger on the ground. As far as DDP goes, he has good grappling skills and a background in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't match the level of Chimaev on the ground. But DDP's resilience and ability to scramble back to his feet might challenge Khamzat's control. Khamzat has continued to train very hard after his fight with Robert Whittaker. He may be used as a replacement fighter for DDP versus Strickland, just in case something happens to that main event. He will be in Sydney the exact same date, so even if he doesn't fight, expect him to jump into the cage afterwards and challenge the winner. We've got Adesanya at home, but that's not Adesanya, that's Zulu, who's taking on Horiguchi. Horiguchi is going to defend his Rizin flyweight belt against Zulu on the New Year's Eve show at Rizin in Japan. While he's focused on the upcoming fight, his comments suggest he hasn't closed the door on a potential comeback to the UFC. He's acknowledged, though, that the UFC has a lack of interest in signing him back. He criticized their focus on profit over promoting the flyweight division. Dana White did threaten to eliminate the entire flyweight division in the past, but it has been valuable. The last pay-per-view was headlined by flyweights. The March 1st Fight Night card is going to be headlined by flyweights, Royval versus Kopp. And the UFC puts on so many events, 42 a year, that they can't really eliminate an entire division. Fan tells Johnny Eblin, "You aren't even in the UFC yet, not even a USA champ. I haven't hit a pad or a face in my life, and I think I could choke the F out of you. Let me know when you're here so I can beat your ass. 185K if you win." 185 is his weight class where he's undefeated, 16-0, coming off a victory over Fabian Edwards. The 2 other undefeated Bellator champions in the lightweight division, you got Usman Nurmagomedov, who puts his belt on the line next month against Paul Hughes. That should be a competitive fight. Then you got in the welterweight division, Ramazan Kurmagomedov, who won the belt off Jason Jackson. Logan Paul, like that McGregor, seemingly confirmed reports that Paul fight is finalized for $250 million each in India. Conor had some negative PR from the civil suit that just wrapped up, and some thought that may impact his future earnings, but if this fight happened, this would be his biggest payday. For the Mayweather fight in 2017, he was guaranteed 30 mil, but after pay-per-view sales, gate revenue, and other income like sponsorship, McGregor reportedly earned around 100 million for that fight. This would be 2.5 times more. Slim Albaher, the influencer turned boxer, says it was great to meet the legend Conor McGregor. Got to chat about the India card and manifesting it all for 2025. He may end up being on that card. It's probably going to be an influencer boxer type of deal. Tom Aspinall doesn't say he's better than John Jones in any aspect of the game, but he says he's way younger, way more athletic, way bigger, and possesses a power that Jones has never seen before. Dana White expressed strong confidence that the fight will happen in 2025, describing it as 100% guaranteed and potentially the biggest fight in UFC heavyweight history. Dana also noted that despite Jones's public reluctance to face Aspinall, behind the scenes the situation is different, indicating that negotiations are moving forward. Jiri Prochazka tells MMA Fighting he wants to fight Alex Pereira for a third time, even though he admits it may sound crazy. It does sound crazy because Pereira knocked him out twice. But Jiri's been known to be crazy in a good way, but a lot of fighters do think the same way, losing to the same guy over and over and still wanting to fight him. But a third fight between them is very unlikely to happen, but what is likely to happen, January 18th, a great fight between Prochazka and Hill. Betting odds for who's going to be the champion at the end of next year in the welterweight division. Most likely, Shavkat Rakhmonov minus 150, then Belal Muhammad plus 200, Leon Edwards plus 350, also Buckley, same plus 350, Gary 400, Makhachev 500 if he moves up, Usman 700, Brady 2000, Maddalena 2200, Prates 5000. I'm going to go with Belal Muhammad at plus 200. What's your pick? Let me know in the comments. Michael Johnson has no kids, and he says Michael Chandler has more black kids than he does, and someone thought one of his kids was his son. Michael Chandler and his wife Bree adopted 2 children, Hap Chandler in 2017, Ace Chandler in 2022. Michael Johnson's coming off a big win over Ottoman Azaitar this month. He holds wins over Poirier, Ferguson, and Barboza. On the January 24th One Championship card, Superlek is out and Nico Carrillo will now take on Nabil for the One Interim Muay Thai Bantamweight Championship.
Yes, guys, we're back. Brand new. Yep, we're back. Surgery was perfect, went good, so on to recovery.
That's the 14-fight card for the next UFC event. Fatima Klein is the biggest favorite on the card against Victoria Dudakova. Jacqueline Cavalcante was supposed to take on Jermaine Durandamy on the card, but Jermaine Durandamy didn't want to fight past 2024, ended up declining, and ended up retiring. Fusion Excel is going to have 3 fighters from their team on the Riyadh card on February 1st. The owner of the gym tells me that's the most they've ever had on a UFC card. The previous high was 2. From Fusion will be Lucas Alexander, who's going to be taking on Bogdan Grad. Terrence McKinney is going to be taking on Damir Hadzovic, and Mike Davis will be fighting Fares Ziem. That'll be a pretty interesting battle at 155. Ziem's coming off that big knockout over Frivola, and Mike Davis looked really good in his submission win over Natan Levy. The UFC Honors Submission of the Year nominees are Islam Makhachev over Dustin Poirier, DDP over Adesanya, Kayla Harrison over Holly Holm, and Patty Pimblett over Bobby Green. I think magnitude matters, so it should be one of the title fight wins. I'll go with DDP over Adesanya because nobody tapped out Adesanya before. On this day in 2011, Alistair Overeem defeated Brock Lesnar in the main event of UFC 141, one of the most roided up battles in UFC history. Brock took a break from everything after this fight because of diverticulitis.